I want to thank you for joining us today. I also want to thank our partners in TODEC, as well as our CalTAP partner, Anthony Rodriguez in Los Angeles. My name is Xochitl Rodriguez Murillo. I am the Deputy Secretary for the Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Division, California Department of Veterans Affairs. A few words in Spanish. Buenos días a todos. Bienvenidos a esta presentación de Camino a la Ciudadanía, presentada hoy a ustedes por el Departamento Estatal de Veteranos aquí en Sacramento. Hoy tenemos acompañándonos al Centro Legal TODEC y también a nuestro compañero Anthony Rodríguez, basado en Los Ángeles, que se enfoca en servicios de transición al Estado para los veteranos. TODEC Legal Center, el centro de TODEC Legal, nos acompaña desde, so TODEC Legal Center is with us today, and they serve the areas of the Inland region, the Coachella Valley, San Bernardino, and the High Desert region. Thank you for joining us today. Gracias por acompañarnos. Okay, so how the presentation is going to take on today, I'm going to go ahead and give a brief presentation on the Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Division. I'm going to then pass it on to my colleague, Anthony Rodriguez in Los Angeles, our local interagency network coordinator, and then we'll go on to the main presentation. Vamos a comenzar hoy con una presentación breve de aquí del Departamento de Veteranos y Servicios a las Comunidades Diversas de Veteranos, y luego pasaremos a mi compañero Anthony Rodríguez y vamos a después a enfocarnos en la presentación de servicios legales para la ciudadanía y naturalización. Muchas gracias. Si tiene preguntas, if you have questions, you're more than welcome to type them as we go, and our presenters will answer those questions as we move along, and some will be saved towards the end. Si tienen preguntas, pueden hacerlas aquí por el atributo de chat, mandarnos mensaje, y los presentadores se encargarán de contestar sus preguntas. Si no las contestan durante la presentación, se contestarán al final de la presentación. We will all have a chance to ask questions at the end of the presentation if there's any other questions out there. Al final de la presentación también se dará la oportunidad de hacer más preguntas para los que están interesados. Nuevamente, muchas gracias. Thank you very much for joining us. We want to make sure that we're focused here on delivering information pertinent to our veterans and their families. Okay, so go ahead and next slide, Jose. And on the other end, por otro lado, we have Jose Ayon and Rakesh Paul with the Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Division. So what we do in this division is we focus on serving the minority and underrepresented population here in California, regardless of race, ethnic origin, religion, gender identity, or sexual orientation. All our ethnic groups, we serve our LGBTQ, our Mexican American, our Asian Pacific Islander communities, you name it, our tribal veterans. We are here to ensure that we connect our veterans to the benefits they deserve. And so we serve as a welcoming space. We serve at that space that's veterans and service members can come to us and seek help. Next slide, please, Jose. And so some of our programs that we run today throughout the past few years are the CalVet Pathway to Citizenship program, which we're presenting today to provide you information on citizenship and naturalization services. Esta es una presentación de los servicios que damos aquí en el departamento por parte de la división para veteranos de diversas poblaciones. We also have our Tribal Veterans Outreach Program, our CalVet LGBTQ inclusion program, and what these programs do, along with new initiatives along the way, is ensure that we're tapping into the issues specific to these populations. Lo que intentamos hacer es identificar cuáles son las preguntas que tienen los veteranos y sus familias de diversas poblaciones en nuestro estado, y tratar de traer servicios que se enfocan en cómo apropiadamente hacerles llegar estos servicios, ¿no? Cómo apropiadamente hacer que nuestros veteranos y nuestros miembros del ejército se sientan cómodos pidiendo ayuda por parte de nuestra agencia. So we focus these outreach programs on ensuring that we're being culturally sensitive to all our ethnic and diverse groups out there, and ensuring that we're bringing in ideas that you may have as a veteran service member, family member, or supporter of the veteran community. This year, we added a minority and underrepresented veterans division roster. And what this roster helps us do is it allows you to come in and sign into this portal where we can deliver information. So we call it our roster. To some of the service members out there, they know it as that sign-in sheet. It's very similar to that. When you're in the military, we want to know who you are, we want to know where you're at, and how we can get services to you. Entonces tenemos un roster, tenemos en nuestro portal, en nuestra página. Vamos a enseñar la página de web tempranamente aquí. Se pueden apuntar, muy bien, aquí está abajo. Para los veteranos que se quieren apuntar para información por parte de nuestra división, queremos saber quiénes son, queremos saber dónde encontrarlos, queremos saber qué servicios necesitan. Entonces, por favor, si sabe de un veterano allá afuera en la comunidad, comparta esta link con ellos. Okay, next slide, Jose. Very good. So this is our contact information, minority veterans at calvet.ca.gov. Our phone number is there. Our website is there. Any services that you need, any information you may find on our website. If we don't have it available, give us a call. Muy bien, esta es nuestra información, nuestro número de teléfono, nuestro correo electrónico, nuestra página, cualquier cosa que no encuentre por ahí, comuníquese con nosotros. Next slide, Jose. This is my personal information. You're always welcome to email me, ask questions, or call me. Esta es mi información. Pueden comunicarse conmigo cuando gusten, para lo que sea. All right, very good. So we're now going to pass on to present information on the California Transition Assistance Program. Anthony Rodriguez is going to make his presentation. And once he's completed his portion, we're going to hand it off to TODEC Legal Center. And we have Luz Gallegos over there, and Community Programs Director, and Claudio Corena, staff attorney, who's going to be giving the main presentation. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Anthony. Thank you, Anthony. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. And I'd like to introduce CalVet to all of you. CalVet is the state's version of the VA. And what we do is we are the largest veteran service organization in the country for a veteran in any state. And what we do is assist and help veterans to get all of the federal benefits that are available to them. We increase the bandwidth from the federal VA. Next page. This is an overview of some of the areas where CalVet provides benefits and services. Our most popular program is that we pay for college for your children. I'll talk about that in a minute. We also offer assistance in service-connected disability claims through the counties in 56 of our 58 counties. And again, I'll talk about that as we go farther. And also, if you have any questions, please go ahead and interrupt me at any time, and we'll be happy to talk about them. Next page, please. This is a map of individuals like myself who are called LINKs, Local Interagency Network Coordinators, and our job is to assist veterans and their families in obtaining all of the benefits they're eligible for on a national and on a county, state, city, local level. So we actually live in the area, and you'll be able to look at a name and an email address and contact them. And this position is unique in that the federal VA doesn't have a position like ours where we actually are out in the field and we're here to help you. Next page, please. In my position, I provide outreach and assistance to veterans and their families. I work with many agencies and make direct referrals. I assist with local emergencies like fires and floods, and I provide leadership at local collaboratives. Next page, please. We work very hard to be subject matter experts in the areas of resources on the federal, state, city, and county level. And we have a very good understanding of how the veteran services work in your respective areas. Next page. Our most popular benefit, as I mentioned, is the California College Fee Waiver Program. And what we do is we pay for dependents of veterans to attend college. We pay for the children of veterans to obtain their associates, bachelor's, master's, and even PhD at any of our 114 community colleges, the 28 or so Cal States, or the 7 or 8 or so UCs. There's no age limit for the children. There's no time limit. They can go part-time or full-time. And there, however, is some eligibility requirements related to the rating of the veteran and the income of the child. And but overall, it's a fantastic program. We estimate that we save millions, hundreds of millions of dollars every year for veterans and their families to attend college. Next page. The California Home Loan Program is a phenomenal program in that we assist veterans in buying homes. Most veterans have heard of the federal VA home loan program, which is a guarantee. California, through legislation, has made CalVet a home loan mortgage lender. And as a result, we work with the VA and we provide home loan mortgages over 10 different types of home loans so veterans can purchase a home in this expensive marketplace. Next page. CalVet also has a program new called CalTAP, California Transition Assistance Program. This program has won an award from the VA as the most innovative program in the nation. And it assists veterans in maximizing the benefits and services that are due to them. Next page. This is our web page. And the veteran goes to that page and clicks on the CalTAP name on the bottom of the page. It will take them to the next page. Next page, please. Where there is a curriculum which veterans can participate in. If you click on that core curriculum button, next page, it will take you to a series of modules. And if you click on some of these modules, next page, it will take you to some lessons. Click on the lessons, next page, and it will take you to some information which you can print out. All this information is available also in the CalVet Veterans Resource Book, which is available on a digital form as well. Next page. CalVet also offers long-term care. We have 8 retirement homes throughout the state. They provide such good service that we have won awards. We have won awards in 2 of our 8 locations by U.S. News and World Report as the 2 best assisted living locations for veterans in the nation. So very high acclaim. Next page, please. CalVet also runs several cemeteries. We run cemeteries because in the federal cemeteries in many portions of our state, there are no longer plots for bodies. So we run these, and they have all the same amount of decorum and prestige at any of the national cemeteries, and they're available in several parts of the state. Next page. CalVet also has a Women's Affairs Department. As most veterans know, women are increasing in the number of roles and numbers in our armed services, and with them, a whole new set of circumstances. CalVet has created a Women's Affairs Department to meet any particular needs that a woman veteran may have, so that they are addressed and provide services as much as needed. Next page. Now, we also offer service at the county veteran service offices. This is a unique format that California offers, where assistance is provided in 56 of our 58 counties. Rather than having to go to the VA itself for assistance, you can go to our county offices and get federal assistance through the county. All the individuals in the county have been trained by CalVet. We have them go through a 2-year certification process, and they're trained by us on how to file federal VA claims, as well as how to administer all of the state benefit programs. So they do a number of great services, and they're very close, they're very local, including college fee waiver paperwork, the driver's license that says veteran, and the license plate and property tax exemption programs. Next page. Why use a CVSO? Well, basically you use it for the convenience and their expertise. Some of the individuals have been doing claims for over 30 years and are experts in ways and strategies to help the veteran obtain a maximum in the benefits and services from the VA. Next page. Some of those services include benefits counseling, preparation and claiming and filing claims, assistance with appeals, and networking throughout the federal and state government. Next page. Pathway to Citizenship. We're going to talk about this program in a second. I'll leave it to them, but it's one of the best programs we have in the state, and they do a great service here. Next page. Again, overall, these are the benefits that CalVet offers. On the next page, you'll have my phone number and email. If I can help you, I'd be happy to help in any way possible. Next page. Thank you very much. I'll turn it back over to you, Sochi.
Thank you very much, Anthony, for that presentation. So folks, some important resources out there for veterans, and some important information on where to find information on home loans and information on assistance with education funding. Our Pathway to Citizenship program, which we are presenting today, is a partnership between the California Department of Veterans Affairs and the Department of Social Services here in California, which was funded through the legislature. And so through this program within CalVet, we aim to go and do workshops out in the community. Now that we are staying at home, we're doing webinars, and we're making sure to deliver legal assistance to veterans and their families. A través de este programa, de Camino a la Ciudadanía, tenemos este programa que se estableció por parte de la legislatura con fondos que se dirigieron al Departamento de Servicios Sociales, y aquí por parte del Departamento de Veteranos nos encargamos de ir a la comunidad y proveer estos servicios legales gratuitos a los veteranos y sus familias. Entonces, esa es parte de nuestra misión, de asegurarnos de que los veteranos y sus familias estén tomando ventajas de este programa. So we're here to make sure that we're delivering the service to veterans and their families. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and hand the presentation over to Luz Gallegos with the TODEC Legal Center. Voy a pasarle ahora a Luz Gallegos con el servicio de TODEC para que comiencen la presentación en cuanto a los servicios legales. So following this is where you'll be obtaining the information for legal services on citizenship and naturalization. Thank you, Anthony. Luz, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Xochitl. Thank you to CalVet for this partnership. Muchas gracias, Xochitl, y gracias al Departamento de Veteranos de nuestro estado por esta oportunidad de colaborar juntos. Como dice la compañera, mi nombre es Luz Gallegos, trabajo para The Legal Center. Somos una organización comunitaria que servimos al sur de California, específicamente a los condados de Riverside, San Bernardino y Inyo. Like Xochitl said, my name is Luz Gallegos. I work for the Legal Center. We are a nonprofit community-based organization serving Southern California, specifically the Inland Empire, Riverside, San Bernardino, and also Imperial County. Although we are able to serve the entire state of California, but this is where our office locations are at. El día de hoy vamos a hacer una presentación de la ciudadanía, pero más que nada quería compartir que nuestros servicios para las familias que viven en California y que son elegibles son gratuitos. First, I do want to mention that our legal services as it pertains to U.S. citizenship process are at no cost for eligible applicants in the state of California. I want to start and thank some of our collaborators today that are also part of our effort. I want to thank Veterans Affairs and the different colleges that are partnering with us today as well. Shafi College, Mount San Jacinto College, College of the Desert, Riverside Community College, Victor Valley College. Thank you for your partnership, and thank you for always being there for our students. Quiero agradecer también la colaboración por nuestros compañeros que trabajan en su departamento de veteranos en sus colegios, a Shafi College, Mount San Jacinto College, el Colegio del Desierto, Riverside Community College, and Victor Valley College out in the Inland Empire. Entonces, día de hoy, este proyecto de la ciudadanía para nuestra organización es muy importante porque nuestra organización tiene más de 35 años sirviendo a esta comunidad de la región del Inland Empire. Nuestra organización ha apoyado a más de 150,000 inmigrantes a hacerse ciudadanos. Nuestra meta es llegar a los 250,000 inmigrantes que ya califican para hacerse ciudadanos en nuestra región. Entonces, es muy importante este paso. Entonces, queremos seguir motivando a todas las personas que son elegibles que lo hagan inmediatamente, porque muchas cosas están cambiando en las leyes migratorias. Our organization has been serving the Inland Empire communities for over 35 years. Our naturalization project, which is called Naturalize IE, is our longest starting campaign. We have helped over 150,000 immigrants in the Inland Empire to become U.S. citizens. And our goal is to reach the 250,000 immigrants that are now eligible to become U.S. citizens in our region. So with that said, I want to hand it over to our staff attorney that will go over the process of the naturalization, and we will be able to answer any questions that you may have. Por eso quiero presentar a uno de nuestros abogados que va a dar la presentación de ciudadanía, y también vamos a contestar preguntas que ustedes puedan tener. Entonces quiero presentar al abogado Claudio Corén. Muchas gracias, abogado.
Hola, buenos días y gracias a todos, Xochitl y Luz y a Calvet por permitirnos llegar a los veteranos, a los miembros activos y hacerles conocer un poco la información, esta información tan importante en términos de inmigración. Good morning, everybody. I would like to thank Xochitl and Luz and Calvet for the opportunity to get to you, to this audience, and to the veteran populations with information that is really, really important, not only for you, but also for your families. The presentation will be in English, but then with questions, this one we can go back and forward and answer. Let me, first of all, I would like to thank everybody of the veterans and active members for your service. It's really important, and we recognize this one all the time. Immigration in this time of really crisis, the situation of the pandemic, immigration also is a matter, is an issue that for this particular administration, they are trying constantly to attack, to invest in trying to minimize the benefit. In a curious way, the citizen aspect, the process for citizenship for veterans is really curious. That is really, there are so many benefits and great benefit for veterans, and for active members and for their families. And we want to be sure that you know what is available to you and to your family. So let me pull up the presentation and let's start to point it out. Here you go. Okay. The first question is if you are current or former member of the U.S. military. And if you, it doesn't matter when, if you are a veteran, when you end the service, the active military members can apply for to naturalize or receive permanent residence, green cards, under special rules that they are completely different for the rules that apply in general to the general population. This is really important. Many people, they don't have this, it's not clear. And we are going to see how in situations that many families in general or individuals cannot access to a solution, a permanent solution in immigration status, the members of the militaries can do it. And it's something to be aware of that. Let's start here. Who qualifies as current or former members of the U.S. military? So person who has been or is active or reserve duty, and the different divisions from the U.S. Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, or with this National Guard, and they say unit, while the unit was federally recognized. So those bodies of the U.S. military, everybody that has served or been active on those divisions qualified to be a member that can receive this benefit. I will mention this one, the citizen by naturalization and in general aspect, that's for the general population. You know, this naturalization, the process which a foreign individual will become a citizen of this country. And it's a process you have to go over. You have to have a permanent residence and a particular time frame that you have to remain as a resident, and only then you can qualify for obtain the benefit of become a citizen. You know, 4 ways in general to become a citizen: born in the United States or one of its territories. One of both parents were U.S. citizens. If you are the son of a U.S. citizen, even one of them, you have the right at birth to become a U.S. citizen. Complete the naturalization process that has to do with people that they have green cards, for example, and then the transition to a naturalization. Be under a particular age, living with parents. This is related if you have parents that are U.S. citizens. So in general, I mentioned this one because we are going to see that for military members, there are many, many important differences and benefits that they are not available to the general population. Naturalization process, you have a particular time to an age at the time of naturalization, pass the test, speak the language, been admitted. This is important. The general requirement is, in order to become a citizen, you have to be a legal permanent resident for a particular time frame. Normally, it's 3 years or 5 years, depend the basis for your permanent residence. Declare loyalty to the principles of the Constitution and have good moral character. This means not to have been in trouble with the law, criminal activity, those kind of things. So this is the general requirements for everybody else. Now we're going to see what happened with the military. In peacetime, there are 2 areas that are known as peacetime naturalizations and wartime naturalization. Let's start with this one. By the way, we are right now in a time is still active as a wartime naturalization, and I will explain why. But let's start for the peacetime naturalization. That is an immediate right to apply. If you are a legal permanent resident, a green card holder, you have the right to apply for citizenship after only 1 year of military service, okay? If you serve honorably in the U.S. Armed Forces for 1 year, and this is 1 year total during peacetime, meaning some particular several months and several months and several months, the total of 1 year will be suffice and enough for you to become a citizen. Why I say this is important, because remember I mentioned normally when you have a green card and want to become a citizen, you have to wait 3 years. For example, if you are married to a U.S. citizen and you obtain your permanent residence, you have to wait 3 years. If you obtain your green card based on work, for example, you have to wait 5 years. In this case, only after 1 year of service, you can apply for citizenship, okay, directly. The requirements in general, there are requirements that we mentioned before: the language knowledge, the good moral character, not having in trouble with the law, attached to principles of the Constitution. And this is important because it has to do with the service with the Army, have served honorably, okay? And of course, be a legal permanent resident at the time you want to become a citizen. This is, like we said, peacetime naturalization. If you have already been discharged for the service, you are a veteran, the discharge also has to be honorable. And you have, after you've been discharged for the service, only 6 months to apply to become a citizen. You were a green card holder, you want to become a citizen. you have only 6 months, but for what? This has to do with the time frame. If you don't apply, if you apply within 6 months, after 1 year of service, you can become a citizen. If you don't apply after 6 months, so you have to go like a general public, you have to wait the particular time, the 5 years or the 3 years, depending how you obtain your residence, okay, your green card. So this is the only time, it's a peacetime. As I said before, we are in fact in wartime, and the naturalization process is very different from the other one in many aspects. First of all, let me jump a little to the bottom of this slide and the show. For the period of time, or what is called designated period of hostilities, we are really right now, since September 11, 2001 to the present time, we are an designated period of hostilities. And they were many, and this is important for veterans, from 1939, the 1950, the Korean War, the Second War II, 1961, 1990, the first Gulf War. Those are the periods. The point is that there is, again, the previous periods are important for veterans, okay? But those active members, or since 2001, for everybody, we are, and it's continued to be, a time of hostilities until the president, the executive power, decide to finish it, to end it. In the meantime, we are in a continued time of hostilities. So, and this is the important thing. You have, if you serve in this time, in this period, you have the immediate right to apply for citizenship. Remember, we said before, in peacetime, you have to serve 1 year. Here, no. If you even serve 1 day in the service for any particular reason, you already have the right to become a citizen, okay? And this one is applied to all immigrants, to all of them, current military service or veterans. This is important. Many people say, what? You have to have your green card. And this time we are talking about the process between being a legal permanent resident to become a US citizen. You don't have to wait any time. At the moment that you serve at least 1 day at this period, from September 11, 2001 through, in fact, if you see, to the present, 1 day you can make your application and become a citizen, okay? Of course, you have to, all the other requirements, you have to have it. Serve honorably in the active duty or as a member of the selected reserve. And this one, it's important to remember one thing. We are talking about, and I will let you know that this provides benefit that not everybody has. Right now, I'm talking about being a legal resident and become a citizen. So the requirement is, first of all, you have to be a green card holder, okay? A legal permanent resident. Now, what are the requirements? Being lawfully admitted as a green card holder at any time after you enlist in the Army. Or, and this is the important, being physically present in the United States, certain territories, or aboard an American public vessel, and about why, at the time of enlistment. This is important because, and this is regardless of whether the applicant was admitted as a LPR. Sometimes this is very confused because they say, well, if I am a green card holder, I can go directly and apply for my citizenship, even if I have I serve at least only 1 day in the Army, and I have only my legal permanent residence for, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months. And so you can do it. And then they said, well, what if I'm not a legal permanent resident? For some reason, I was able to serve in the Army. And this is the good news that is coming. Everybody And even if you enter into the country without permits, and then eventually you obtain your legal permanent resident, you will be able to use this part of the immigration law to apply. Let me keep going. You will understand better how this mechanism works. Again, the general requirements are always the same. Be able to read, write, and speak English, have knowledge of history. Those are on the examinations that when you go to do the citizenship, they require from you to know the language, to know the law, to know the constitutions, be a good person, a person of good moral character, okay? Meaning not having trouble with the law, a particular crime. So this is for people that they were green card holders and active duty or veterans. What happened if one of the soldiers died during service? So it's something that is called posthumous citizenship for military members. So individuals who served honorably and died as a result of injury or disease incurred while serving in active duty, they have the right to become posthumous as a citizen. This is a process that has to be certified that the person died or where the service were provided. And it's the military branch in which you serve that they have to certify the situation and the circumstances of the death. Who can ask after a soldier died, who can present this application and ask that this person become a US citizen after he died? So could be the next of kin, meaning members of the family, could be the spouse, could be a parent, could be a child, the Secretary of Defense or the Secretary designee from immigration on the particular office. This is important to know. I know that this is many details. You don't have to remember exactly what I'm telling. It's simply to give you a general picture that what are the benefits and the opportunities that may exist. Okay, this one, the person after died, you have 2 years to do it, and it's important because if many soldiers could die while they were legal permanent residents, or some of them they didn't have even a status for some reason, were able to enroll and enlist, and they died. So those persons, somebody else can file a petition and ask that they become US legal citizens. And this is the important thing, how we going up and what the importance of posthumous citizenship. There are two, if you know, in our immigration system, you have family, you can obtain legal residence by different means, but the most important are through work. Some employer will sponsor you and give you the opportunity to obtain green card, or through the family, what is immediate families. There are 5 categories, which are if you're married by marriage, by your parents, or your sons, or your siblings, okay, sister or brother. Those are the 4 family categories by which you can obtain immigration status. So we are talking about here what happened with the surviving family members when a soldier died. And if he wasn't a US citizen at the time of death, or if he was. So if he was not a citizen, a US citizen by the time of death, the family, the surviving family, has the opportunity and right to ask that that person that died become a US citizen after death. And this is important because if you are the spouse, child, or parent of a deceased US citizen, doesn't matter if he was a US citizen at the time of death or if he became posthumous. Okay, this is why it's important to do it. In any of those situations, the family, the spouse, the child of the parent, may be eligible also for naturalization under this section, meaning could become, if it is a legal permanent resident, could become a citizen immediately. Doesn't have to wait those periods by law, okay? Of course, in this particular part, we're talking about people that they're already lawful permanent residents. They are already a green card holder. And it's the spouse, the child of parent are green card holders, and the soldier that died was a US citizen, posthumous or before that, doesn't matter. So think in terms of this one, because now I will pass to another situation in which what happened with the family survivors that they don't have a immigration status, or they have only a petition pending, or they don't have anything. So this is the good part, and to see the importance of the benefit. Almost it's really unbelievable that this part of the Immigration Act survived in this time with this administration, because you will see now that people that are in even in not in status can access to immigration and permanent immigration solution. Let me see. We said that if we were the spouse of the deceased service members, okay, you've been living with your spouse at the time of death. Remember this, you have to show that you were the spouse and you were like you living together. The immigration authorities will consider you to be, if the person died before you regularize the situation, they will become a citizen. The family, if you're a spouse, this is the point. Even it's complicated for me sometimes to try to make the most clear possible. If you were the spouse of a deceased service members, you have to be living with your spouse at the time of death, even if you're living apart, because many soldiers there are overseas or in different locations. So in that requirement to be together is not always important. You can be separated, but being a couple. Let me put this one. And this is the important thing. Remember, if your spouse were a citizen, if your spouse were not a citizen, you have to wait much more time. And you were a person that your couple presented a green card petition, a family petition. Many of you know that if you are married with a US citizen, you are the minor child of the parent, you can become a legal permanent resident immediate, because it's what is called immediate family. So the difference here is where your spouse was a citizen or was a legal permanent resident. If it was a citizen, even posthumous, if you have a petition from the immigration that your spouse, before he died, filed a petition for you, it's important that he becomes a US citizen. Why? Because you become an immediate relative, and you don't have to wait those extended periods of time to regularize your situation. Let me give you an example. Your husband filed a petition for the spouse, was a legal permanent resident, not a citizen. The wife have to wait because it's not an immediate relative. It's if you heard about, is a visa bulletin, which determines the timing that you have to wait to obtain those benefits. Sometimes there are years and years that you have to wait. In this case, when you have your dead relative naturalized, become a US citizen, and you become an immediate family, meaning that immediately you can go and process, you do what is called adjustment of status, become a green card holder in the country. There are several requirements regarding the couple, if they live together or not. So we have the situation that affect the spouses, and we have situation in which affect the child of the parent of a deceased service member, okay? For that situation, also they will be considered immediate relative. So, and again, I insist on this point, the consequence has to do with the time that you have to wait, or in fact, don't have to wait, because you now enter in a different category. You don't have to wait to regularize your situation. This is the situation that I mentioned. What happened to people that they don't have a status, immigration status, because nobody asked. The husband could be the spouse could be a green card holder or a citizen, but they never presented a petition for them. And we know that in many situations. They never petition the parents, for example, or the child when they become adults, or even minor child. So this is the point. This area, surviving relative of legal permanent residents, okay, that they were granted posthumous citizenship. If the deceased service member was a legal resident who filed the visa petition for you, right? Remember that we said, if it was a green card holder, have to wait a long time for the spouse or the child to normalize the situation. Instead, once he becomes a citizen, immigration will consider you an immediate relative, and you may immediately file the petition for, in this case, adjust the status, okay? But look at the next slide. If you are the spouse, child, or parent of a deceased service member who did not file a visa petition for you, never. They were, you were, so many couples that they live, one is a green card holder or a citizen, and the family, all the people are undocumented, okay, we know. In this case, once the dead service member obtained the posthumous citizenship, the surviving member, spouse, child, or parent, they can file by themselves alone a petition for green card. Okay, you may file for yourself. You have a period of time after death, 2 years, to file and ask for that green card that he never did it or she never did it for you. Now you can do it for yourself. This is, again, imagine the situations that we know. Thousands and thousands of people, couples, families, in which, for different reasons, the couple, the spouse has immigration status. For some reason, they never file a petition for the spouse or for the family. In this case, the parents of the child. Now, with this posthumous citizenship of the service members that died, that passed away, you have the opportunity to do it by yourself. This is incredible, and it's something to take in consideration. This is a solution for many, many undocumented people in our country, family members of, service members. And the idea, if you read, is interesting, because they say, well, we maintain because the importance of the family unity and the importance for the service members to have, a stable situation with their family. We know the consequences of being undocumented. It's living in a scenario in which you all the time they have limitations and sorrow and afraid for many things. This is a solution that is really incredible to believe, to think that they are still active and nobody touched it. So if you have that opportunity, consult with legal counsels, with organizations like TODEC or CalVet, because this is a venue, an avenue for you and your family to maybe resolve situations like this. In general, what the importance of becoming a citizen, and in particular, because of the of the situation in which we live with, you know, we are 4 months from election time for the to determine if this government will continue or will have a change. We know that the actual administration is not a big friend of the immigration community, and we see all the time attacks to different type of laws and regulations that benefit or may benefit the immigration community. So become a citizen is really important, it's particular in times like this, in which you have the right to participate. And you have the right to decide, be part of the decision on what type of future everybody may have. For one side or for another, doesn't matter. I'm not talking about one side or another. Simply the right and the idea to participate and to have that power to take decisions, not only in national elections, but also in the local elections, you know, mayors and in cities and all over. The right in general for the citizens are right to vote, freedom of expression, right to bear arms, right of assembly, and things. Everybody mostly knows what is, but the important is that the ability that you may have been a citizen to participate and to have a voice in the day-to-day living in our country, and things that to change things or to help to modify or to help others. One thing really important in terms of benefit of citizenship in a practical way, besides the issue, of course, they participate and the right to vote or be in government, is something really important. When you are a legal permanent resident, and people, they sometimes forget about this one. Have a green card is a temporary situation, it's conditional. Your green card status, your permanent resident status can be taken away at any time if something happens. For example, if you leave the country, I'm not talking about but I know times in which soldiers that they were serving out of the country for more than a year, and they came back and they have trouble and problems to return. And this, if you are a citizen, you don't have those type of limitations. For a soldier, it's a little different because you can explain, but for some people, you go, imagine in situations like this one, like the situation with the pandemic, people left the country to visit family and suddenly they were not able to come back. And we don't know, you have to be very careful because you are a resident, a legal permanent resident. You cannot be out of the country for more than a year unless you are authorized to do so. If you do so, that you are more than a year, you can lose your residence. So be a citizen is secure your future and secure the future of your family. Become a citizen, obtain the right to participate. And I think with this, I will end the presentation. I hope that it was not too confused. I know there is a lot of information, but you know, we are TODEC Legal Center and CalVet. This is something for me, the intention was to give you a general idea that what is at your hands to be used. Benefits that, again, can help you, can help your family in a ways that not many people have the opportunity to use it and to have it. Okay, so back to you, Xochitl.
Thank you, Claudio. Some very important points and good information on the process. And so we appreciate you being here with us. I don't know if we got any questions out there on anyone's end. So I'm going to give the participants an opportunity to ask questions here before we close. Let me see here.
Before we go into questions, just real quick, I just want to go over this. Is very important, specifically not only for our state, but our entire country. Importance of our census participation. As we know, the census participation is required by law. So we are asking all of our participants to please help us get the word out. If you have not completed the census, We have updated dates. With COVID, a lot of things have changed. So now we have until October 31st to participate in the census. So please help us get the word out. If you haven't yet completed your census form, please complete it and encourage your family members and friends and neighbors to do so. There is so much at stake for our state, but also for our country, as the census will determine the next 10 years, the future, as far as it deals with resources and also politically. So please complete your census. Nice thing about the census is this year we are doing census online, so you do not have to travel anywhere. The census website's here, www.2020census.gov. You can complete the census from your home. I know the Census Bureau started sending out census questionnaires, but you could complete it from your home. So please complete the census. Han completado su censo, es muy importante que lo hagan. Hay mucho riesgo para nuestro estado, para nuestras comunidades. El censo es seguro y esto determinará el futuro, los siguientes 10 años para nuestras comunidades, para los recursos y también políticamente. Entonces los invitamos a que participen en el censo. I'm gonna make a poll. If you guys can please participate as we're getting ready to answer your questions. We're asking for you to answer the poll question that we're gonna launch right now. If you can please answer it. Estoy haciendo un cuestionario en línea. Si por favor pueden contestar el cuestionario en línea, es muy importante el censo. Dice la pregunta, ¿puede comprometerse a completar el cuestionario del censo y también a pasar la voz con sus familiares y amigos sobre la importancia del censo? Muchas gracias por todos los que están participando. Thank you for all that are participating in our poll. So with that, I'll go ahead and open it up for questions. And I believe Xochitl and Jose, you're all going to lead this portion. Thank you.
Thank you, Luz. Appreciate that. So yeah, something to keep in mind as folks out there are looking for citizenship and naturalization services is that to make sure that you are completing the census as Luz mentioned, it is only 9 questions. It's a quick survey, but it is going to ensure that, you know, regardless of your status here in the U.S., that you are taking care of your family and ensuring that we're getting the money that, you know, California can receive through the census and for benefits for any agency out there, any future decisions pertaining to your family. Entonces, importante dato aquí con el censo, en cuanto los beneficios que trae consigo cuando se apunta usted y su familia. Son 9 preguntas que se pueden completar por internet. Todo es confidencial. The census is confidential. So we do want to make sure that you take advantage of that and that you ensure you are counted. Okay, so very good. What I'm going to do, Luz, I don't see questions on my end. I'm not sure if anyone out there is capturing questions. Let me see here.
I have questions here.
Okay, you're probably getting them on your end. Okay, which is great.
I'll go ahead and ask. Some are English and some are Spanish. So hay preguntas, vamos a contestarlas en el idioma que vienen, pero también las vamos a traducir al inglés. So we're going to answer them in the language as they're coming in, but we're also going to have the English-Spanish translation, so everybody gets information. La primera pregunta, abogado, yo soy ciudadano, mi esposa no es ciudadana, sus papeles ya están en proceso, no sabía que podría tener ayuda, estamos en la segunda parte del papeleo, yo solo lo estoy haciendo, ¿podría tener apoyo legal con ustedes o es muy tarde?
Sí, ok. Bueno, en realidad quizás Luz pueda
Sí.
contestar un poco mejor esta pregunta en términos de cuáles son los que actualmente los servicios que estamos proveyendo en TODEC Legal Center.
Aún no he mandado su solicitud de ciudadanía. Puede entrar a nuestra página web. Ahorita la voy a poner se las voy a enviar. Pueden pedir su cita en línea todo es por COVID, estamos muy restringidos y todo se está haciendo virtual. Entonces piden su cita en línea para agendar, aplicar para la ciudadanía. Entonces, si podemos ayudarle, si aún no ha enviado su solicitud, podemos asesorarle. So the question was, I am a citizen, my spouse is in process of becoming a U.S. citizen. Can you help us complete the form? I started the process, but I have it not sent in. Is it too late? So our answer to that question is, as long as you have not sent in your application form, which is the N400, we can assist you. Due to COVID, we are very restricted on our walk-ins in all our office sites. So we ask all, if you're interested in asking for any type of assistance, dealing with naturalization or legal consultations, please visit us at www.calvet.ca.gov to set up an appointment. So yes.
Quisiera complementar la respuesta, porque si la pregunta también está dirigida a la parte formal, por ejemplo, cuando alguien inicia una petición por su cuenta, y si la pregunta es después si puede contratar a un abogado o a alguien que lo pueda ayudar, la respuesta es sí. En cualquier momento se puede pasar, digamos, el trámite a Legal Counsel o a las personas autorizadas, que están autorizadas por el Departamento de Justicia para ayudar en la preparación de peticiones. Así que en ese aspecto, si la pregunta es general, si puede alguien ocuparse de la segunda parte de la petición, la respuesta es sí.
Gracias. Segunda pregunta, son varias preguntas, pero similares. Will CalVet sharing the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
The attendees.
So we're gonna post the Zoom presentation on our website, and if we have the slides for our CalVet presentation, if we're able to consolidate our PowerPoint for today, we can do that too. But we should be able to upload the Zoom presentation just about right away within the next day or two.
Okay.
And it'll be going under our citizenship button on our Minority Veterans Division page.
So the next question, I started my N400 application, but there are questions about my ex-wife that I cannot answer. So in this situation, what we ask when you're completing the N400 is to answer to the best of your ability. And if there's anything that you don't know, you can't capture, we are able to send out the application, but we always ask for you to try your best. We understand there's certain situations that some folks cannot reach out to exes or whatnot, but we always ask you to answer to the best of your ability. Anything else, Claudia?
No, it's exactly what you say. To help, those kind of things that the organization like ours, we can help you, CalVet can help you. An important thing, when you have doubts, reach out to try to help you do those, to complete those processes with help of somebody.
So the next question. So my petition was approved. I'm filing out of affidavit of support. I have to wait to financially be able to pay the part of the petition. It's for my wife. She lives in Tijuana. Can I receive help? So for that, during this session, we're only talking about U.S. citizenship via naturalization. We are very restricted on a lot of our services. We have appointments very lined up right now. You could definitely reach out to us, schedule an appointment online, and you could receive free legal consultation virtually. So please reach out to us via www.calvet.org for a free legal consultation. So the next question. So do you have a step-by-step list of what veterans can do to apply for citizenship?
Well, we can provide it, and I think maybe Xochitl they have, but in general terms, remember, I have it here because I read the list. It's not much that you have to do. In fact, it's the preparation. If you are a legal resident, a legal permanent resident, you have to prepare the application for naturalization, and the form is N400, and you have to work with the point of, if you are active, you work with the point of contact. That in fact there is a point of contact in every military place that work and that may help you to complete the certification of military service. But in general, you see, application utilization, the form N400, form N426, that is the certification from the military, is a pretty simple procedure. In terms of forms, it's not much to do. Remember that then you have the qualifications and not having a history of criminal activity, good moral character, etc. But the procedure is pretty simple. There are 2 forms, and you can work, if you are an active service, you can work with your POC in your place.
Yes. Also on our website, there's several publications that talk about pathway to citizenship from A to Z, and it's pretty general for all community. There are certain specifics for veterans, like the attorney said. I'm pretty sure that CalVet has more information on more to veterans.
Yes, those who are still active can go to their family readiness centers, or sometimes they're called the Naval Readiness Centers, and they're designed to help active members and their families with any concerns they have, to include this issue. And then from there, they would reach out into the local area to find agencies that might be able to help them, including this one.
Thank you. So, so question is, can you cover more about presentation of living spouse through a veteran? So in general, in order for a person, a legal permanent resident, to become a U.S. citizen, he or she must have, if they're married to a U.S. citizen, he or she must have 3 years of LPR status in order for them to become a U.S. citizen. So yes, if a spouse, if an LPR, which is a legal permanent resident, is trying to apply for U.S. citizenship, and he or she is married to a U.S. citizen, they do not have to wait the 5 years. They could do it via 3 years of having a legal permanent status. So I don't know if you want to add anything else, Claudio, to that.
No, in general, to understand, it's true that we're talking about the post-mortem venues and the opportunities for legal or documented or undocumented. But in general, the rest, the process of legal permanent resident or citizenship will go the normal venues that wait in the time. If it's by marriage, there are 3 years to wait after the being a resident. The conditions are being lifted and you can become a citizen. So there are not a particular benefit in terms of for that particular situation, like you asked. But again, I think that it is important, and you have it in CalVet. I understand that you have assistance, or like in TODEC, like Luz mentioned, so we don't work as a legal firm. We don't provide the entire legal services, but we provide counseling. So if you call us, we will be happy to schedule an appointment, and I can analyze your situation and give you an advice. And this is something that we're doing all the time, provided you with legal assistance and guidance. So this is something, definitely those type of questions that you guys can contact us and ask for an appointment, and we can help you.
Yes. So, so one of the service eligible applicants is assistance through the pathway to citizenship when they're actually have an LPR status and are able to naturalize. So we have that service at no cost for eligible applicants. So once you set up an appointment online, our staff will go over those requirements and provide you the necessary information. So the next question, became a naturalized citizen in 2011, served in the military from 2003 to 2008. I have been trying to get a green card for my ex-wife, for my current wife, since 2008. However, every attorney has requested to have her do the paperwork in Juarez. Due to my PTSD, I don't want to leave. Is there any way to do it here?
Okay. This one is a very specific question, but there's something, I understand that the wife is here in the country as well. If that is the situation, there is something that is called parole in place, which is a PIP, situations in which that is specifically for members of the military, that the immigration has the discretion to offer. There are type of waivers or pardons that you don't have to leave the country in order to adjust status. What the attorneys, they tell you or told you that they need to do the paperwork in Juarez is because probably it's a situation in which is an issue that the person cannot adjust the status, or your wife cannot adjust here in the country. So she needs to leave, and the problem is leaving the country, and then you are not sure that she can came back. So it's something that if you were working with attorneys or if some assistants, that's, again, it's continued to be used, an issue which is called PIP, parole in place, for particular situations of inadmissibility, meaning that they can obtain that waiver to adjust status here in the country without leaving. But will depend on each situation, and will also, be careful with this one, depend is at the discretion of the immigration officer, okay?
Okay, so another question is, how do I obtain assistance for citizenship process? So if you do live in Riverside, San Bernardino, Inyo, or Imperial counties, you could, again, visit us at our website to request an appointment at calvet.ca.gov. I have typed this up in your chat, so you have it. From presentation, a service member seeking to naturalize must be active. How would I enlist? Must be a lawful resident.
The question was if it has to be active in order to naturalize. No, it can be an active member, or can be has been discharged already, honorable, and can do it. The only point is that you have 6 months in order to benefit from this short time, the naturalization. You have to do it after no more than 6 months after you were discharged. Okay.
And Claudio, so for this one, I guess, is it 6 months, ensuring that veterans get their application in within those 6 months? Yes.
I will say so. That's not means that they have to be completed within 6 months, only to file the application, to present everything. Because remember that we mentioned before, you have the guys have what they call point of contact person, which will certify the part of the Army certification, right, for the person. So it's important to go contact weekly those people that will help you.
Very good.
So my green card has expired and I want to get my citizenship. What is the best, fastest route to obtain citizenship?
Well, the fact that the green card expired, this is something to be clear. The green card itself doesn't expire. What expires is the card, okay? The what is called the MICA. The green card is the one that expires. The status of a green card holder doesn't expire. So you can apply for citizenship again, if you are in the situation, the time frame is the same for, depend on the situation. But even if you have a green card that is expired, the card itself, you can do it. You don't have to renew it. The only thing is remember that, well, maybe at this time it's not too relevant, but without the green card, you cannot leave the country. You cannot leave and coming back. You have some limitations in that aspect. But for the naturalization process, you don't have to, it's not necessary to have a green card, an expired green card.
Yes, especially during these difficult times with income. Many community members don't have a lot of income to actually pay USCIS fees unless, you know, there's a lot of hardship and whatnot. So what we always advise, even if your green card has expired and you want to start your naturalization process, we always recommend start your naturalization process, because as long as you're in your naturalization process, you may be able to get a 1-year free extension if you want to travel outside of the country. So that's something that USCIS was offering before the shutdown. Several service centers. I know now with COVID and whatnot, a lot of things have shifted. Reach out to us via our website to ask any questions. Also our email, I'll type that in our chat if you have any questions. Yes, naturalization is always the best way to go, versus renewing every 10 years. Once you become citizen, you don't have to worry about, expired green cards. You'll be a citizenship for life. I was discharged in 2004. Now I am a veteran, have been a permanent resident since, never started the process for citizenship. Do I still qualify for expedited services, or can one of you help me with the process?
Well, I think it was a similar question before. If you are a veteran right now, you can apply at any time for your citizenship. If you have your green card within the time frame that 3-5 years, you can apply all the time. You will not be benefited by the expedited time, but you can do it anytime. And it's for citizenship, as Luz explained, we at our Antodec Legal Center, if you live in our area, you can simply make an appointment with us, and we can help you.
Yes, thank you. So where can I get help, paperwork? So if you live within our region, we could help anybody in the state of California, but just because of proximity and all that, we serve, again, Riverside, San Bernardino, and Imperial and Inyo counties. So San Diego is pretty close to our site. So if you feel comfortable driving out, if there's a one-on-one appointment or a virtual appointment, please visit us at lec.org. So if you want to get started with your naturalization process, but of course we have partners across the state that are also offering the same service. So I know Xochitl mentioned that she will share that information as well. So when it comes to offering school financial support assistance to veterans, support applies regardless of income? That's a question. Is this aid?
Yeah. I'm sorry, you want to go ahead, your question, and I'll answer after.
Okay. Is this aid for all the family members, husband, wife, and children, or is this only for college degrees, or will it also apply for trade or vocational schools? And what percentage of school expenses are covered?
Okay, so CalVet offers 4 different types of college fee waiver programs. We have, the most common is the one, Plan B. So very quickly, Plan B looks at, the only requirement is that the veteran have a service-connected disability rating of 0, 10, 20, up to 100. Any rating qualifies the veteran. And what we look at for eligibility is we look at the income of the child only, and it must be at poverty level or below, which is this year around 13,000 and change. So with that program, a veteran's child can attend any public California college. So we have 114 community colleges, 28 or so Cal State universities and the Cal Polys, and then we have 7 or 8 UCs. Any of those schools are eligible, and we will pay the tuition for 1 full year. They can go part-time part-time or full-time. There's no age limit on the children. There's no limit on the number of children. The only limitation is on the child's income itself, and it's for 1 year. We require IRS records for the child for the previous year. So that's Plan B. That's the most common program, and that is for any service-connected rating of the veteran. Now, Plan A is another program which includes the spouse. Plan B is the child. Plan A includes the spouse, but the qualifications are that the veteran is 100% service-connected rated. That's a VA rating. If the veteran is 100, the spouse can go to school under the same situation I just explained, and the child or the spouse under Plan A. No, we don't look at anybody's income. The only caveat is that the parent be at 100%, and then the child is up to age 27. So for more information or specific information, I would encourage the individuals to go to their respective county veteran service office or go to our website, calvet.ca.gov, click on education, all the information will pop up, or my email or phone number is on the presentation as well. I'd be happy to field any questions if there are any other ones.
Thank you, Anthony. So next question, I was granted U.S. citizenship in 1973. They took away my green card because I became a U.S. citizen. The Army lost the paperwork for my citizenship in fire at St. Louis. How can I obtain proof from the Army about my citizenship in this case? So if you're trying to receive your actual certificate of naturalization, could actually request that online at USCIS.gov. Also, what we always recommend is if you've lost any type of document, regardless immigration or anything that's a legal document, is always file a police report. I know right here it says, I believe it said was lost. Immigration is so delicate. If anybody obtains any of your paperwork, uses it incorrectly or any type of fraudulent way, this could definitely impact you in the future. So if you have not yet, please file a police report. Even if it was back in the day, please file a police report. Say you never filed it, but you want to make sure this is documented, because if anything comes up in the future, you have proof that you actually lost this document. Once that's said, I do recommend for you to go on the USCIS.gov. I'll go ahead and type it in the chat and request a copy, a certificate of naturalization. Also, to make things easier, depending where you live at, I also advise to reach out to your congressional representative and ask for a caseworker. They will be able to expedite this certificate for veterans. We've had this situation in the past, and through our U.S. congressional reps, depending on where you live, which district you live, look them up, they're able to support. We've had them support some of our veterans in our region with unique expedited. So please take advantage of the services that we have for our veterans through your Congress representative. So that's that question. I don't know if anybody wants to add to that.
I'd like to add that the veteran got out in 1973, approximately, I believe. And what many of the counties did was many counties, when a veteran was separated from military, kept a copy of their DD-214, that is the record of service. And it could be that it was sent, a copy of that record was sent to the home county of that veteran. And therefore, a copy of that may be available. And I believe they're talking about the fire that occurred with the Archives Department, National Archives, and it may be that that DD-214 was burned and he couldn't find it. So that may be an option. Sometimes we do hear of cases where they have copies in their respective counties.
Thank you, Anthony. So one of the participants is saying military members can use joint legal centers on all bases to apply. They are geared for that type of service and do it all the time. Okay, thank you for sharing
Okay.
that. So this is not a question, but I am currently the CVSO, and I appreciate the information being provided. CVSOs, as we not only provide services to veterans community, but also work hand to hand with the CDVA and their partners. Awesome job. Thank you. Questions about enlistment can talk to a recruiter. They can have all the answers and can help them. Thank you. So a lot of people are saying thank you for this webinar. They really appreciate it. Great information. Thank you all for the comments. Question: what I was asking is if you meet all requirements for citizenship as a veteran, you send your paperwork through the military service channels. Is your application expedited or normal waiting time?
Well, in terms of processing, I'm not sure that the processing or the sending the paperwork has to be done by normal channels. I don't believe that the bases or CalVet or this one will send it by themselves. So remember what I mentioned was to make contact, because the Army, in case you are active service, they need to certify your service. And this is one of the forms that they will provide to you. But the processing itself, especially in this time that we are living, I don't believe that there will be anything special. You have to cross your fingers and wait. But unless we're talking about the processing itself, has to do via normal channels, I believe.
Right. So Anthony did mention the family readiness centers. Anthony, is there a difference for, because I wrote this down earlier, for active members in the service, whether Guard, active reserve, or veterans that have already left the service, as far as using the family readiness center?
Family Readiness Center is primarily for active duty members. The National Guard has a version of that. They've just gone, they were contracted and now they've gone permanent. The challenge with National Guard is because they're so separated that they're all, in different locations, and they have a headquarters. It's hard to get a hold of them. And then once you're out, really the only way to get assistance in that way is going to be through the County Veteran Service Office, or corresponding with the archives. But the CalVet has a system where we set up, because of so many claims that we do, service-connected claims, we actually have district offices in 3 portions of the state, and we work very closely with the benefits people in the VA. So they have a really good relationship. They're in San Diego, Los Angeles, and the Bay Area. So the district offices can be contacted through the respective links, and that might be another method to help move things along.
So veterans, if you're out there and you're requiring paperwork, reach out to your county veteran service officer or your local network coordinator. At the same time, I'm prompted to say, if you have the paperwork that you believe you need, go ahead and reach out, especially if you've left the service, go ahead and reach out to one of the legal service providers like LODEC, or reach out to us if you're having trouble finding a legal service provider close to you, and we can get you that service provider.
Thank you. I am a Persian Gulf vet. I have returned with PTSD. Am I considered for this service? So,
Not sure which service they mean.
Yeah, so as far as for our services, naturalization services, they're open to all community members. And of course, we highly respect our veterans. So please reach out to us with any questions. I sent you our information, the chat. And if there's anything that we could support you with, we would be more than happy to do so, or guide you to the correct channel if it deals with the services that we provide. Does it matter if the child lives with a veteran? Sure, that's all it says. If you could, Leslie, if you could add to your question.
I think they may be asking about the education program.
Oh yes, education program.
With the education program, a child can live out of state, And there must be one individual living within the state, either child or the veteran for the California Education Program. So that's kind of unique. The veteran, so sometimes the parents are divorced, you know, and they have a child, but they don't live with the veteran parent. So they do not have to live with the veteran to be eligible for the CalVet education programs.
Thank you. So we have one of our partners. He's actually participating in the webinar. He works for USCIS, and he just informed me that yes, USCIS field offices have officers that work on N400s for military to help expedite. So that's really good news. So we have TODEC has a really good partnership with US Citizenship and Immigration Services that they just provided this information to me. So please be aware that some field offices, not all of them, and he's going to be sending me this information, and I'll go ahead and share it with you all. Some field offices do have officers that work on veterans and 400s to help expedite.
Another comment, Luz, regarding the issue of filing that I see now, say that if you are an active member, the designated point of contact at your military installation may assist you, as they say, with the following: the certification of, that is the N426, information about fingerprinting and how to comply with everything, and submitting the N400 package, okay? Filing address change, those kind of things. Somebody also asked there if there are fees. No, it's the N400 for military members that no, they don't have to pay the immigration fees. And they say, once your application is received, we'll receive the data, because they are received in the National NSC, the National Center. They are sending in particular to the USCIS, the Immigration Office, and the veterans, in fact, they have other benefit that you can choose the location which you want to be interviewed, those kind of things. So yes, there are different things, and good news that Luz has confirmed that it is an expedited way to do it.
Yes, thank you. So as far as veterans know, we are being told by CalVet that N400 is free and is expedited.
Yes and yes.
Yes. Okay, so we have, we will be sending, I know CalVet will be sharing information as well. I was asking because the address that where you send your N400 and 426 is different from regular file applications.
Yeah, this is what we mentioned. If you are active, again, you can reach the help of the point of contact at your installation. They will help you out. And this is important because sometimes the addresses in immigration, they are specific. When even in the forms, normally they will have the information where to send it and how to send it, each form by themselves. But if you have the opportunity, reach for the help of this POC.
Thank you. So we have, will you be offering any webinars pertaining to DACA or any other services newcomers benefit from your services? So yes, we have weekly webinars at TODEC. So if you want to sign up on our listserv, please visit our website where there's a space where you could sign up on our listservs and you'll receive invitation to our weekly webinars. We have webinars dealing with different types of topics. DACA is a hot one right now, and also different immigration reliefs available to immigrants. So please sign up on our listserv so you could receive these updated information on our different webinars we are hosting. We are used to doing large-scale workshops, but now with COVID, we've turned into Zoom and webinars. So please take advantage of the different opportunities that we have within our organization. Thank you for that question. In regards to the education benefits, can you add more information, please?
Well, not sure exactly where they want to ask. We have actually 4 types of education programs, A, B, C, and D. Essentially, one is for National Guard, one is for Medal of Honor winners, one is at any rating, service-connected disability rating, and then one is at 100%, or who have served in combat. I would suggest that they, I can send them some information on specifics. Unless there's a specific area they want me to answer, it's hard for me to, address specifically what they're looking for. But all the paperwork is going to be completed at the County Veteran Service offices. Right now, because of the shelter-in-place program, they have to set up an appointment, and they will conduct a Zoom interview or a telephonic interview to get the paperwork completed. And it's typically done once a year for a full semester. There's no dollar amount per se that's limited. Some of the UCs can be as expensive. We pay the tuition only, so some of them can be worth $20,000 a year for a student. And of course, the community colleges are not as expensive. It covers tuition, but not books, not parking, not housing, just tuition. But there's no time limit, as I say. And it's good to look at the different programs to see which is more advantageous for the student, because sometimes, we've had cases where veterans the children are in their 50s because their parents were veterans, they're attending college because of the service of their parents.
So the next question, many of them were similar. Okay, so we have, if you already separated from the U.S. Armed Forces, you may submit an uncertified Form N-426 with a copy of your DD Form 2114, Certificate of Release or Discharge from Active Duty, or NGD Form 22, National Guard Report of Separation of Record of Service for the applicable periods listed, Form 426, mail your completed application material. So thank you for that information, Miguel. Thank you for that. So any questions? Do ex-wives receive veterans, are they still eligible to receive educational services?
In some cases, if the spouse died because of a service-connected related injury or disease, then yes. But if the veteran never filed, it's difficult after the fact. But the answer is, let's assume yes, and proceed to the local county veteran service office, and then let them tell you no. Chances are you have a good opportunity.
Thank you. My daughter wants to enlist. Well, she is a U.S. citizen. We are undocumented. Will enlisting in the U.S. service help us gain status? Or what services, what incentives do kids that enlist have once they sign up, once they enlist?
Is that towards citizenship or just benefits?
They're asking CalVet.
Okay. Well, once we consider a veteran someone who has basically a DD-214, and you can serve 1 day and get a DD-214. If you're active duty, you're on a higher status than Reserve or National Guard. Most of our benefits complement the federal benefits. So the federal VA has the majority of benefits for all veterans. They have 80% of all the benefits. CalVet has a lot of augmented and supplemental benefits. We kind of fill gaps, and but we have the most amount of benefits than any other state. So there's lots of benefits as being a veteran. As some of us know, you own property and you have 100% service-connected rating, you get a reduction in property tax. You get educational services that I've mentioned. There's home loan programs like was mentioned with women and so on, helping with businesses. There's lots of different assistance available for veterans. And it doesn't, but that it's not based on your legal status, your immigration status. It's just based on being a veteran. I hope I answered that correctly. Sochi, do you have anything you want to add there?
Yeah, it sounds like part of the question was also benefits as a incoming service member. So I thought of the individual contract of the soldier, but that is separate from CalVet. But you covered it really well, Anthony. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. It's saying a number of California colleges offering funding for books, computers, rent, utilities, childcare expenses, etc., for CalVet fee waiver students. So thank you for that. I don't know if you,
Yeah, so all of California colleges have veteran resource centers. Those are state-funded locations primarily. The biggest ones are in the community colleges, and many of them have a lot of fantastic services besides coffee and, you know, a place to get support. They also, some of them have food, and you can assist with housing. A lot of the children of veterans who are eligible under the education programs, Plan B, for example, can go there and get a lot of support from others. They're very active in trying to change legislation, and this is a great system. So often veterans come out of the military and they feel a little disjointed, and they're kind of working on kind of settling down. Those veteran resource centers are great resources, and they extend to the children as well.
thank you. So, question: my son has enlisted. What other incentives as a parent, will I have? I'm not a U.S. citizen yet. Do parents have any incentives from a son or daughter being enlisted?
Immigration-wise, the U.S. citizens, kids, 21 years old and more can request their parents as a family petition. In case, if they are alive, they have to wait until they are 21 years old in order to request the file a petition for their parents, okay? Only then. Remember what we were talking about in the presentation is the benefit for families of surviving members of the family. But if they are alive, they have to wait until they're 21 years old.
The only other benefit I can think of is that active duty members sign up for SGLI. That's life insurance. When you're active duty, you can leave. You can make your parents beneficiaries or your spouse a beneficiary. So that might be a benefit. Of course, you don't want to be in that situation, but that is also potentially a benefit to someone.
And there is a support system in place through a family readiness group within the military. So parents out there can also reach out to the direct, usually linked to that is Military One Source, and you can have more information on support groups and what else is out there for you as a parent or family member.
Thank you. So a lot of thank you for the presentation. We really enjoyed it. So thank you for all the comments. Are there any other questions? Please type them and we'll go ahead and answer them. Okay, so who is the point of contact at each command? We try to find one at different bases. Is there somewhere where we could find this online?
The information that I have is only that they say that they should be a point of contact at the military installation. I don't know if Anthony has or Xochitl more specific.
I would say go to the Family Readiness Center, and if they have coordinators and directors, and if they're not getting the help they need from the coordinator, I would request assistance from the director. And if I didn't get help from the director, then I would make an appointment with the commanding officer. You certainly have a right to those opportunities, and it would bring attention. You'd want to go through the chain of command, I'm sure. You'd want to go through your respective commanders, but then petition that up. The S1 officer is the administration officer on the military basis, so generally they're tied into others in the S1 department. Socia, do you have anything?
No, definitely a good start to go to family readiness, and do, like Anthony said, use your chain of command. You know, if you feel you're not getting the help you need, like you said, use your chain of command. But outside of that, you know, you can go to that family readiness group. There's also the career service officers, or more like the recruiter within the military, that can sometimes assist with those type of questions. Use your chain of command. Use that family readiness group. You know, when all else fails, feel free to reach out to us and we can try to navigate with you, you know, if it's here in California.
Yeah, a lot of us links have contacts at the respective bases in our respective regions. So sometimes we can make some calls or try to attempt in that as well.
Thank you. So, Ivan from USCIS is also telling me that there's base legal that can also help at each base, and he's telling me that most of the big bases have this service. I don't know if you could add anything else to this.
I personally have not had a lot of contact with base legal. On the other side, the judge advocates are the official military lawyers, and that's been my experience. But I have heard of them, and again, I would you know, cast my net as broadly as I could and try to reach in and reach out to as many as I could.
Yeah, and you know, and if you know where the JAG officer facility is within the base, you know, go directly to them and they could likely help you out with an appointment.
Another question, is there any preference when you are a veteran petitioning for a parent?
The immigration-wise one is similar to the question before. If you petition for your parents, you're active. You have to be 21 years old to request your parents. Okay, so in that respect is the same, the same requirement like everybody else. This is important. I mentioned, maybe I will mention something that has to do with the active member itself. He can become a U.S. citizen at any age. This is something interesting in the service. If for some reason there are, in general, the requirement is you have to be 18 years old, right, to become a citizen. Doesn't apply to military members. If for some reason you are a soldier at 17 years old, you can become a U.S. citizen. But as far as to request your parents, you have to be 21.
And it's case by case. So, Barry, thank you for your comment. It's Barry said, sharing that use the Joint Legal Center on the base. His comment. So if there's any other questions, is there any other questions, please type them, so we'll go ahead and address them.
I would like to make another mention in the meantime. So as to the places where to initiate the processing of the naturalization, the citizenship, you can do it all in any place overseas, because you can do it through your bases. So this is important. If you're not in the country and you can initiate and do the citizenship processing when you are out of the country. So something to consider. You don't have to be here in the country to initiate the process.
Thank you. So I don't see any other questions, just commenting. And thank you for the webinar and great information. Thank you all for sharing your comments. So I don't know if you all want to share anything else.
I know I want to thank you, Luz, Claudio, Anthony, for joining us today. If those are all the questions, folks, like we said earlier, we'll go ahead and post this webinar to our website under the Citizenship and Naturalization Information Services tab in the Minority Division landing page in CalVet, on the CalVet website. So you'll have this information available. We'll also go ahead and send an email following this webinar to all of those who registered, so you can have access to this presentation and this information. Otherwise, I think we're good to go if there's no other questions out there.
Let me make sure before we log off. Okay, so question. Yes, I do understand we have to be 21 to petition. Is it more likely that they will be granted citizenship?
Look, sometimes on the petitions, remember, one thing is in general. Immigration officer has a lot of discretion when they decide on any type of petition. And sometimes there are situations of admissibility or a criminal history, or what, I don't know, right now the public charge and issues of financial. I will say that there are, in the discretion area of the immigration officers, when they have in front of them a case that belongs to a veteran or an active duty military member, I would like to believe that those officers will take in consideration who they have in front of them. Of course, that if the situations are real difficult or complicated or something very, very serious, you know, they are acting pursuant to the law. And immigration, there are tough cookies in terms of regulation. But yeah, I will say that if there are problems and that depend on the discretion of an officer, I will say that probably will be better considered for a veteran and an active member than for another people. But it's simply a speculation on my part.
Just to add on Attorney Claudio's comment, we must remember this, we're giving general information and every case is different. We'd like to take a case to case to give the best advice that we can, because at the end of the day, our whole mission of our organization is to defend and protect. We don't want to put anybody at risk. So please reach out to us, set up an appointment online. If you have any detailed questions that we cannot answer, go deep, because we'd like to, we just don't want to confuse folks, but in every situation is different, no case is alike. So with that said, we are here to help. Again, visit us at www.calvet.org and set up an appointment. You can request an appointment online and then our staff will follow up with you. And thank you, CalVet, and thank you to all our college partners and for our staff for this participation opportunity. We look forward to continuing future collaborations.
Yes, thank you very much, Luz. Our viewers today, we appreciate you joining us. And if you do need this service, do reach out, make an appointment, contact us if you need someone in another area in California. Save all your paperwork, always save copies. And yeah, we're here to be of service and ensure that you are getting the benefits you deserve. And remember that legal services are available free of cost to you as a veteran and service member. All right, everyone, have a great day. Have a safe 4th of July. Put on your mask and keep your family safe. Muchas gracias a todos por acompañarnos este día.